Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel More Blood and Plunder as we work our way through the remaining upgrade characters, and specifically here now these advisors and hostages. So today we're taking a look at the spy, which does present some interesting options for your force. So from the description here, good intelligence can often make or break a raid, and there is seldom a better source than a good spy. A good spy has collected critical info on a target or invading force that can be used to best prepare a defense or choose a target to raid. So we got a 5-point character. It's available to anybody, notably too, so it's not restricted to everybody but natives, like we saw with a lot of the fighting men. No weapons, no special rules from the normal list of special rules, but what you're paying for those 5 points is the extra abilities here, and this one in particular. So you roll a d10 before the start of a battle. On a 6-up, the enemy force may not use the lay-in-wait scenario rule, special rule. So it's not going to happen all the time, but there are scenarios out there, and we've covered those in the past, where that is out there. Some forces will have access to that and everything else. So just you have a chance to turn that off, and unless I'm mistaken too, you might even be able to burn a fortune point on that to re-roll that roll if you really want a good chance of having that turned off. But you also get a cool once per game ability here. So once per game, this force's controlling player may discard all the activation cards in their hand and replace them with the same number without spending a fortune point. So in other words, she's giving you essentially, or I shouldn't say she just because of the artwork, but he or she is giving you an extra fortune point, but purely for that specific use, not for all the other things that you could use fortune on normally. So this can be done in addition to any other ability that already allows a force to do this. So theoretically, in the right situation, and if we're reading this correctly, right, if you had another ability that triggers this, and you didn't like that hand, you could then do this as a once per game as well. So theoretically, if you drew an absolutely crappy hand, you triggered this ability or the other ability, and still didn't like that second hand, you could do again, I guess, effectively one more time here and get a whole new hand again. In effect, a third hand, just to again hopefully get to the cards you need. So for those 5 points, and if you're really just in a really bad situation where just like the hand you have just it isn't going to work, it's going to make or break the game or the battle for you, and more likely break it, as in you're not going to do well. And that second hand still is, maybe it's better, maybe it's worse, but still not good enough. You have another chance to do it. So pretty cool stuff here. 5 points isn't that much to invest. You have a pretty neat pre-game ability, and then a sort of an ace in the hole once per game to effectively get an extra fortune point. But again, a specific use of that fortune point, which is the discarding the hand, getting a whole new set of cards. So ideally, you use it early enough to where you still have a lot of units, and your hand size is pretty big. You wouldn't want to only have access to a few cards in your hand and then doing it. So, but 5 points is pretty neat. Let us know, guys. That being said, sort of a final verdict though, situational, right? There's still no guarantee that we get the pre-game roll to go off, and I guess even with drawing multiple hands, it's not necessarily a guarantee. But also, if that unit happens to get taken out where the spy is in by some way or captured, right, then you're not going to get that. Now, an interesting rules question would be, if you've already used the once per game and then the spy gets captured, does the opponent have access to that since it's a new force that they're in now, or if it's used up, it's already used up regardless of if it's stays on one side or gets captured by the other side and stuff like that. So but that could be a downside too. If for some reason your unit where the spy is in gets separated, the spy is captured, you haven't done that once per game yet, the opponent decides to use it, now they've effectively gotten that bonus fortune point, I would assume, and you didn't get to use it, so you kind of spent points for nothing there. Hopefully that is how that works. It'd be a pretty cool way to hunt the spy down, get the benefit of that spy, and maybe convince them to turn on you, so now they're double agent, triple agent, whatever. Pretty neat stuff there. Very thematical. It'll be pretty cool to paint up a couple different spy figures as well. Let us know, guys, in the comments if you have Field of a Spy. What force do you feel like it was best used in, or your most memorable moment of that? Has someone used a spy on you, and how did that go? Did did it ultimately let them beat you, or did you still pull out a win? Hit us up in the comments, guys. Let us know. Like and subscribe. We'll have more Blood and Plunder for you soon.